Sure, you can buy a petrol SQ8, but you can buy one of these now. So for $173,600, you can now buy an electric SQ8. This thing looks familiar because I've already tested a similar version of this, which was called the e-tron, but now it's called the SQ8 e-tron. So here's what's changed. First of all, the SQ8 is available with this nice bright blue paint, which definitely makes it look a lot like an S car. You also get new headlights, which are an option. You can now get matrix LED headlights, which have over 1 million little shutters in there to help with things like throwing projections on the ground and individually lighting up parts of the road. And they're some of the most advanced LED headlights you can buy today, but they're not laser headlights like you'll find on an RS6. We also get Audi's new corporate logo, which is this flat logo here, but it's got some white Audi rings, so that's helping let everyone know this is a newer SQ8 e-tron. We also have this silver grille, which Audi says is to help make this thing look wider and give it a wider stance, which is what you want in a mean, muscular, powerful electric SUV, so that will let everyone know that you bought an SQ8. You've also got an e-tron logo stamped into the grille here, and you have active shutters down below to help with air smoothing and airflow. And what else is kind of interesting is that underneath the car, you actually have dimples imprinted to the underside of the car, just like a golf ball, to help with air smoothing and air efficiency to help you get better electric range. And so what else has changed? We're getting a sporty tune for the air suspension and also larger wheels, and we do get red brake calipers in here. And we also have bigger brakes on the SQ8 e-tron. But now it's time to talk about charging. You get 2 charge ports on the SQ8. You get one here and one on the other side. The other side will take up to 170 kilowatts of DC fast charging, where this is your slow charger, but at least it gives you the choice of having a charge port on either side of the car. Talking about the battery, we've got an increased density of 20% when it comes to actual power density. So that means this thing gets an estimated range of around 417 kilometers of WLTP range. But let's talk about body styles now, because this thing has an SUV body style. This is the SQ8 SUV e-tron, but you can also get a sportback body style. But I prefer this look, but if you want a more aerodynamic car, you should pick the sportback design because that's going to be slipperier through the air. Now, some things you can't see are the 2 electric motors here at the back and 1 at the front, which have been changed and upgraded to be more efficient and give you a bit better power delivery. Some other things that have changed that you can see include the new Audi logos at the back, which are white and flat, and they've also got an SQ8 badge here at the rear and a new light signature. Really, this has given the car an identity. Before, it was just an anonymous e-tron SUV, and I drove that car and enjoyed it quite a lot, but I kind of didn't really know where it sat in Audi's lineup. But now this is called a Q8 e-tron. It's much clearer to understand why you might buy one of these, because you might be shopping around for a large, luxurious German SUV, but you want it to be electric. So now you understand why this exists. So the inside of the Audi Q8 e-tron is a good reason why you would buy this instead of maybe another brand which isn't known for good build quality, because all the touch points in here feel really nice. And also the thing with this interior is that it just feels really easy to engage with. There's nothing to learn, and there's no YouTube, Netflix, or anything like that in the center screen. If that's a problem, then yeah, this car's not for you. But if you prefer a traditional driving experience, that's where this Audi shines. What's changed in here? Honestly, not a whole bunch. It's still as nice as it was in the previous e-tron SUV, but we do get a new display in front of us for our driving assistance systems, but everything is pretty familiar, which is a good thing. So we have very easy engagements for the gear selector. We still have indicator stalks where other brands seem to be moving away from that. We also do have these paddles here for your regenerative braking. We have really nice buttons all throughout the cabin, really nice leather seats that we're sitting on as well, which are S-specific seats for the SQ8, and we also get an S badge here on this palm rest, and also an S steering wheel. So if you want an interior that can seat 5 people comfortably, because we have quad zone climate controls, an option for rear heated seats, and just a really luxurious driving experience, the Q8 e-tron, and especially the SQ8 e-tron, is a good place to spend a lot of time. So the SQ8 is not trying to replace the petrol SQ8, because it simply is just not powerful enough, and it's not quick enough. This thing can go 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.5 seconds in boost mode. So let's see what that feels like. So to get in the boost mode, we have to be in dynamic and ready to go. There's no real launch control system here, but in 3, 2, 1, we can, oh, that's boost. Oh my God. Yep. 4.5 seconds in this car. Doesn't feel slow at all, and this thing feels like it's got plenty of poke, and you'd hope so because it has 370 kilowatts of combined power, which is a little bit less, like 3 kilowatts less than a petrol SQ8. But an SQ8 is going to be lighter than an SQ8 e-tron. And so to compensate for that, the SQ8 e-tron gets 973 newton meters of torque, so that mid-range acceleration is pretty insane because we have a triple motor setup here like we've seen on the previous generations of e-tron SUV before it was called the Q8. The triple motor setup is pretty unique, one at the front, two at the rear, helps with torque vectoring and shifting you through corners, and this SQ8 gets a harsher ride thanks to these larger wheels, and we've also got a more sporty setup on the air suspension chambers. So in dynamic mode here with S mode activated in the gear selector, it is a very punchy and responsive and very luxurious feeling performance electric car. I especially love the handling characteristics of this car. It's gotten a bit of an update here, so it feels very, responsive for a big, heavy electric SUV. I will say that the entry-level versions of the Q8 e-tron don't handle as well as the SQ8 for obvious reasons, but if you want to replace your daily driver gas-guzzling performance luxury SUV, or you want an upgrade from an older luxury, well, I think the SQ8 e-tron is a really hard car to look past. The downsides are is that you're not getting a bunch of range for your money, and also the charging speeds are a little bit on the downside. 170 kilowatts DC fast charging, that's not really competitive with cars that are capable of charging up to 250 and 300 kilowatts, which means you'll spend less time at chargers when you're going on a road trip. But SQ8 owners and Q8 e-tron owners might not be the type of people to go on big road trips. So if you're not the type of person to be doing that, then, it's a great option to run around town in. Now these brakes, combined with regen brakes, yeah, there's plenty of stopping power here. You get red brake calipers, of course, to let everyone know that you've bought an SQ8 e-tron. And the weird thing is as well is that this thing is dead silent. There's no sound generator here. So the sounds you're hearing when you're driving are actually the electric motors working, and you can hear the front one quite prominently like that. And it gives you like a Jetsons style acceleration sound. But Audi told us there is no sound generator on board. That's just the natural sound of the motor. So in the same way you'd have a noisy V8, we have a somewhat noisy electric motor, but I don't think the sounds are that offensive at all. But there's something I wish that was here. I wish there was a bit more theatre. I think an S badge on an Audi is always an exciting thing because you expect this level of driving experience, but I just don't think that we're really getting a distinctly different driving experience with the SQ8 e-tron compared to the Q8 e-tron. So I'll be real with you, this doesn't have the best electric range or the most advanced technology when it comes to any sort of fancy features like a Tesla, but what it does have is really good build quality and really impressive performance, and those things matter a lot to people who want to buy cars like this. Now you can cross shop with brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW because they have very competitive alternatives to this, but to be honest, if you're looking for that Audi driving experience, luckily Audi have done a really good job of engineering it into that car behind me. So if you're driving around in an older Mercedes EQC or even an older Tesla Model X, that's a great option to consider.